Iran is trying to contain or sustain some sort of existence of Bashar al-Assad in Syria without removing him. You know that in the direct relationship between Iran and the states, Saudi Arabia is not satisfied with the new policy. Regarding the Arab Spring revolutions, we know that in Saudi Arabia there was a lot of tendencies, strong tendency to try to keep the region stable against some sort of changes from the states to keep things boiling in the region and to push for more divide in the region. So we have differences in the relationship between the states and Saudi Arabia. On the Arab arena, Saudi Arabia during King Abdullah has always enjoyed good relationship with Egypt, and whether before 2011 revolution or after, and Saudi Arabia has the view that Egypt should have a stable regime, should retain its power and regain its role in the region. This is unlike the U.S. policy towards Egypt. We know that
that was the main policy point between the United States and Saudi Arabia.
We know that regarding the issue, we know that King Abdullah was the one who invented, promoted and supported the Arab Initiative, and he strived until he was strong, until he died, to see some sort of real change. But unfortunately, the American stand supporting Israeli settlements, illegal settlements, and
establishment policy,
and violence, and all these are differences. So we have this kind of panoramic atmosphere between in the region, which will affect and paint the future of a relationship between Saudi Arabia, its neighbors, Saudi Arabia and its region, Saudi Arabia and international community.
Yes, indeed. And at that point we have to get back now to King Salman bin Abdulaziz, and just to give a brief hint about him, he is the half-brother, of course, of King Abdullah, and was the governor of Riyadh province from 1963 until 2011, and has served as the country's Minister of Defense since 2011. Of course, we know that King Salman was, of course, the head of the Saudi intelligence for some times in between this period, and upon being appointed as Crown Prince in 2012, Salman was noted for his focus on improving the kingdom's economy. Also, he is very much known for his tribal and conservative connections, particularly in this area. King Salman has said clearly that he will continue on with the policies of his predecessors, but the kingdom itself faces lots and lots of challenges at this particular stage. We are speaking about from the north, the Daesh in Syria and Iraq, from the south, Yemen and Houthis and what's going on. We're speaking about a real crisis in Yemen that we will be tackling later in our episode. Saudi Arabia and its stance right now.
Well, of course, King Salman must say that he will continue the policies of the state, the kingdom, and will keep going on the same route that started with the founder of the kingdom, the late King Abdulaziz. But if we look at the very first decisions or royal orders that he issued before the day of the late King Abdullah, we can smell in the air some changes that may occur quickly. We're not going to wait a lot to see some changes, some sort of political consolidation within the political house of Al Saud, and some sort of political consolidation in the institutions of Saudi Arabia. The removal of Sheikh Khalid Togri, who was the head of the Royal Diwan Court, was seen as the powerful figure during the whole reign of the late King Abdullah. This quick removal of Khalid Togri makes us suspect that we might see a lot of changes coming. This man with his tribal connections was almost the right hand for the late King Abdullah. Yes. As well, the rise of Mr. Mohammed bin Salman to become the head or the chief of staff of the royal court and the minister of defense and the principal advisor for the new king is telling us a lot about what can happen in the future. We have Prince Mehtab ibn Abdullah, who was and still is until now the head of the National Guard and the Minister of National Guard. So we have three figures that may play some sort of role. Perhaps the play will show some sort of conflict. Mohammed bin Salman and Mohammed bin Naif are almost at one together. They're closer, they have some sort of experience in fighting terrorism and in keeping the strength in the defense system of Saudi Arabia, while Prince Mehtab bin Abdullah, who is the Minister of the National Guard and the head of the National Guard, has most of his experience is internal in Saudi Arabia. So I think that we'll see in this triangle Prince Mohammed bin Naif, Prince Mohammed bin Salman, Prince Mehtab, we'll see some sort of power struggle there. And I suspect that this power struggle will end up in supporting the authority of Mohammed bin Salman and Mohammed bin Naif.
But wasn't, just to comment, wasn't it very significant that he at once assigned a crown prince, Prince Mukrim, and a vice crown prince, which is Mohammed bin Naif?
Prince Mukrim was actually the crown prince. Mukrim was actually the second in command after King Salman. So he should have become the crown prince, because you cannot change the rules of play within the game itself. So at the moment, Al Saud have accepted that Prince Mukrim is the crown prince, but the second in command, the vice crown prince, is Prince Mohammed bin Naif. Exactly. Mohammed bin Naif represents the new generation of Al Saud, the grandsons of Al Saud, who will be in command perhaps in the next 10 years. And I and many observers are predicting that Crown Prince Mukrim will not continue as a crown prince, or if it happened that he becomes the king, he he will not continue as a king for a long time, for different reasons. Most of these reasons go to their experience. Prince Mogren has no great experience in fighting terrorism and developing the country.
That we have to see in sometimes, because for now King Salman is there. We are speaking about 3 or a trillion who are here in control of the policies.
But the center of power is going to be Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and he's going to make great alliance with Mohammed bin Naif.
Do you expect any kind of changes towards Egypt, towards regional issues?
I think the relationship with Egypt will come under review. I think I have heard comments in Saudi Arabia about the relationship with Egypt, and even in the United Arab Emirates. And now, with the expansion of Iran inside the Arab Peninsula and the threats that are facing the future of Yemen and Bahrain, Saudi Arabia needs to have number of strong allies. During the late period of King Abdullah, in the last couple of years, in the last year or so, there was some sort of differences between the royal palace and Ankara, Riyadh and Ankara in Turkey. Now there is some sort of move to try to bring this alliance together once, especially with when we know that Turkey is adamant about removing Bashar al-Assad, and Saudis as well want to remove Bashar al-Assad. You will notice here that there is some sort of difference between the Egyptian foreign policy towards Syria and the Saudi foreign policy towards Syria. The difference comes from the idea whether to remove Bashar al-Assad by